All right, I think we're recording now. We got a little couple of glitches here setting up, so we're gonna pop into the group. Add group. Okay, we should be going live in a second here. Okay, I think we're live. If you guys could hear me on Facebook, go ahead and put a comment below the video. Let us know where you're based out of and what you got going on. My name's Douglas J. Beck, in case you haven't been here previously. If this is your first kind of session with us and your first time seeing this meeting live or joining us live, thank you for being here. We're inside the REI Mastermind, the Real Estate Investing Mastermind group on Facebook. And a reminder that this group is designed to help folks start and scale your real estate investing business. So we've got folks from, real estate agents, mortgage professionals, construction folks, regular folks working 9 to 5s, or folks looking for a transition into real estate that we serve in this community. And we've also got a private, paid community, which is called the Growth Collective, which you're going to learn more about that. I'll be sharing some information today about some of the components inside the Growth Collective. But if you want to take a look at it, it's jointhegrowthcollective.com. And inside of that, it's we have multiple meetings throughout the week. And we've also got the support, one-on-one support, as much as you need to get you kind of where you need to go with your business and questions, deals, challenges. We're going to be talking today about scaling up a business using people, process, and tech. And specifically, we're going to talk about something with respect to people, how you could access certain types of people that you might not be thinking about and might not know about, or maybe you do, but you haven't really explored it for enough. The concept of virtual assistants. And really, that's been a game changer for our businesses over the years, the past decade. Again, if you're just joining us, my name is Douglas J. Beck. I'm president and owner of JDL Ventures and a couple other businesses. We run this group to contribute to the community, the real estate community, help folks understand what is possible, what we've done, what we can do together, how we can serve you, all that fun stuff. And we're here today to talk about scaling up a business as a real estate investor. So if that's something you want to learn about, stick around. If you're not interested in that, no big deal. Maybe it's not the right room for you. But we also gave you the link there inside of the actual description. You'll see the link to join us live inside of Zoom. So feel free to click on that. We have a couple of team members in the room and actually one of our clients as well, listening in inside of Zoom. And we'll likely have some more folks popping in a little bit here, but feel free to use that link to pop into Zoom. We'll have a section potentially at the end of the Zoom for questions that we could take from you. If you want to stick on Facebook, no problem. You're welcome to do that. Just put your comments as questions or questions as comments, excuse me. So let me kind of give you a backdrop, because I had this conversation yesterday with somebody who was interested in possibly joining us in our community inside the Growth Collective. And, I kind of explained, and I was going back to when we first started. So when I started in the business, I was working full time at Johnson & Johnson, and it was back in 2014. So I started at J&J in 2007, or 2007. Some people would say 2007, right out of college, and worked in IT and procurement, as some of you might know if you've listened to my story before. Rotated around multiple roles within J&J. My father had actually been a J&J guy for over 40 years. And so he had built a career there and literally, took care of our family from money he made from that. And then also had a couple businesses that he had started towards the end of his career. But nonetheless, growing up around that and being part of that, experience of, working full time in corporate and then having a side hustle, quote unquote, or having a side business. That was how I got started, because I had seen that in my own family. But I hadn't really explored real estate investing in the way that we've now come to know it until 2014, right? And so the quick story here is that I was reaching out to a friend of mine about another business opportunity that I was affiliated with at that time. And he had suggested to look into what he called REI, which at the time I didn't have any idea what REI really stood for, what it meant. Many people still don't. If you're not in the business, you might not know what REI means, right? In fact, there's a store I think called the REI Co-op, but it's not. It's down here in Florida, in this part of Florida. It has nothing to do with real estate investing. I forget what it stands for, but it's another thing completely. And so, long story short, I go and search online for REI. I come to realize that I asked them some questions, like it stands for real estate investing. And I do some research on Facebook at the time, and I come across a page about real estate investing, which was happened to be the owner of that page became my mentor. Long story short, so I basically poked around a little bit, clicked on some stuff, maybe how you might have found us here, maybe some of my clients that have found us in terms of working together with us in that way. But poking around, trying to explore stuff in real estate investing. That was my story in the beginning, kind of exploring and discovering what was possible. This is in January of 2014. And my daughter had just been born. She was 3 weeks. My son was about 3 years old, turning 3 years old that year. And man, I wasn't really ready to start a new business. Honestly, I wasn't prepared financially. I wasn't prepared mentally. I wasn't really expecting to start a new business, honestly. But I had the drive in me, the subconscious knowing that I wanted to do something different than what I was doing. And so maybe that resonates with some of you today, that you just know that there's something that you're being called to do, that God's pulling you in that direction, that you just know is your calling, and it's not what you're doing today. So that was me, and sometimes it still is me, honestly. We had to navigate through different things in business. And so we've got a lot of transitions that we've experienced over the years. But essentially, in the beginning, it was transitioning myself from the mindset of an employee to an entrepreneur. And the challenge I had, everybody, was that I had very little time, and I really didn't have that much money either, right? So I had limited funds, I had decent credit, and I had access to credit. I didn't have a lot of liquidity, and I had like practically no time, and I had a family. So that also could resonate. If that resonates with you, just let me know either here now or later. We could talk about it. But essentially, what I had though is I had a vision, right? I had a vision for what it could be because my mentor had kind of shown me what that could look like and explained to me that you could negotiate yourself into real estate investment deals and essentially build a network of investor partners or people that are around you that could work with you on these deals and essentially collaborate with them in this contract flipping, i.e. wholesaling flip, type business. So that was very interesting, right? The concept of assignment of contract and double close and all these other stuff. And so we had started the business that way. Now, the challenges we had in the beginning was that, I made an investment of almost $30,000 into another mentorship education program in 2014 and not really knowing what to expect. I remember having a call with my father standing in this little conference room, little side conference room at J&J's office in New Brunswick and saying, I'm about to, spend or invest or however you want to put it, $30,000. I'm just talking to you to let you know that I've decided this and it's something that I'm pretty confident about. I'm not really looking for permission, but at the same time, I want to just give you a heads up that I'm going to make this happen. I want to make this work. And, it was kind of like that. And he was like, all right, well, I guess you got to figure it out. He's like, good luck with it. And I'm like, well, it's an alternative to going to get my MBA. It's an alternative to going and buying a business that's brick and mortar or setting up, putting equipment in place in some sort of productized type business. And so I had all these stories, which were true, but I'm basically selling myself on this concept to go build this business and to go make this investment or this expenditure, if you would, at the time into education and coaching and mentorship. And so we'll come back to that. But basically what I found was that in that group, in that mentorship program, looks like we have some folks coming in the room. So if you guys could let them in the room, that'd be great. Just do me a favor and keep everybody on mute for now until we get to the Q&A part. That'd be great. I found that, it was different than what I expected, right? So I had gotten access to courses and information and resources and people, but there was nobody locally that I was connected with that I knew how to connect with at the level of putting deals together. At least I wasn't getting that from what I had signed up for. I had to kind of figure it out. So a couple of steps that I took, and I want to give you guys the foundation in case you're in that earlier stage in your journey. And welcome Yolanda in the room. Just happy to have you here, and feel free to invite any friends if they'd like to join us in this room. Basically, in the beginning, it's all about making connections and networking, but it's also about getting information and education. That's important. A lot of free stuff online. We do a tremendous amount of free content as well because we believe in giving to the community and then hopefully finding a way to bring value beyond that in the future. And so today is no different. I'm going to give you a lot of great stuff to consider and to implement. And I'm also going to give you an opportunity to decide to implement with us a certain couple of things that you'll hear about in a little bit. So just a heads up that that's coming, but it's not to sell you anything. See, because the thing was, when I looked back, I kind of was sold on this concept of this dream, this vision. I sold myself on it. I sold my father on it. I got sold by the group, which is not bad. I mean, I'm happy that I did, because if I didn't, I wouldn't be here talking with you today and paying it forward. But what I wasn't aware of, because I didn't get this far in the journey yet, was that it took a focus on people. I had to connect with real people doing real deals to get real deals done on my own. Like I had to make the decision to be intentional with creating a network. And without that, it would be very difficult, practically impossible to do business as a real estate investor in any kind of strategy, because whether you're a buyer looking to buy a property, or you're a wholesaler looking to flip the contract, or you're looking to do a renovation property, a project, you're looking to fix and flip, you're looking to build new, whatever strategy you're looking to do, looking to buy a building, like it's going to have people somehow involved in that process. So if you're not a people person, just don't worry, because there's a solution for this. There's a very simple solution. I'll give that solution to you. If you're not interested in going out there and connecting with people as much as maybe somebody else is, maybe you have a friend of yours that's like just like this extroverted, super excited, always around people, just always talking and ready to go and just have this conversation, networking, just superstar. But maybe that's not you, or maybe you are that person. I don't know. And maybe you're like, well, I just need to know who to talk with. So we're going to get to that today. We're going to get to the concept and the power of connection. We're going to get to the concept of leveraging other people's time in a very strategic and specific way to help you and help them at the same time. So I'm going to get to that. But know this, I made the decision in like early February, right? This is like in 2014, I'm talking about 10 plus years ago, after being in the business for like a week or two, that I was going to do a couple things. That these were my commitments were. And I want you guys to consider the commitments that you need to make. And now fast forward, tens of millions of dollars in transactions that we've done, dozens and dozens of fix and flip projects, hundreds of transactions that were flipped and wholesaled, multiple rental properties, funding opportunities, all kinds of cool stuff that we've had the blessing and opportunity to participate in and grow. And now giving that back to the community and still continuing to grow our businesses. It's just, this is a result of the things I'm going to tell you today that started 10 plus years ago. So if you want to have this kind of possibility for yourselves and grow and scale a business, then you definitely want to listen up and take some notes, because this is from my experience, but it's also from a lot of other people that are way smarter than I am and way more experienced than I am, that I know that this stuff works. So here we go. First thing is, I decided that I was going to be intentional with connection, meaning like I'm going to go out there and find people that I need to connect with that are going to be the people that solve the challenges that I have. Now, initially, that was me deciding, and my mentor coaching me on this, to send out direct mail. If you have any experience with direct mail, let me know in the comments or in the chat. Hey, just put, yeah, we've done direct mail. We've sent a bunch of mailers, and let me know what kind of success or not you're having. I'm just curious to see what the market's looking like right now. I don't know too many people that are personal friends of mine that are having a lot of success with direct mail strategies. I know that there's a place for that, but here's what I know. In the first probably 6 months of our business, we spent, and I say spent specifically because it was kind of an investment, but it was definitely an expense. It was disposable. It went away and it just came back temporarily, and it never came back. There was no return. Probably close to $20,000 on direct mail. So here I am, 6 months in. I'm going to tell you about some of the stuff that happened in that 6 months besides direct mail. But 6 months in, I made an investment of almost $30,000 into a coaching and education program, and probably another $20,000 in direct mail marketing. And I'm going to give you a preview of the punchline, is that 6 months in, there was nothing to show for it yet besides a bunch of activity. But there's a happy ending to the story as far as how we made it at that position, that transition from not having anything to show for it to now building multiple 7-figure and hopefully an 8-figure business combined of everything, multiple 8-figure. Basically, it went like this. The connections that I made as we're doing direct mail marketing and struggling to get people that want to sell their house to us, and not knowing how to speak the speak and, walk the walk, so to speak, like, just wasn't prepared for that, even though I was educating something else that a lot of folks have challenges with. We didn't know how to talk the talk and walk the walk with respect to sellers. But as I'm doing that, what I decided was I'm going to be intentional with connection, not just with sellers, but with buyers. So here's the thing. Preface is, as a wholesale real estate investor, there's two sides of the transaction. Right? There's two sides of the coin. If you're sitting in the middle, which basically, seriously, it's just, you're the middle person, the middle man, middle woman, like you're between two parties. One is the owner or the contract holder of the property, and the other side is an investor, basically a buyer who's going to take over that contract or that property, depending how you structure it. And we're not operating as an agent. We're in the contract directly to purchase the property. We're a principal in the transaction, right? And I have a whole bunch of stuff about wholesaling. If you want to get schooled on that a little bit, learn some stuff about that, we can help you with that. But ultimately, we started that model because what? I was limited on time. I was limited on capital. I didn't have the money to put into 5 or 6, 10 different properties to go out and do a bunch of renovations or to buy a bunch of rental properties. I didn't have the time to manage all that. What I wanted to do was create a scenario like my coach and mentor had suggested, which was very profitable, where we can make between 10 to $50,000, usually 10, 15, 20 grand in that range on an individual deal by just flipping a piece of paper to somebody else to take on the responsibility. Right. And I've trained, dozens and dozens of people on this, probably over 100 just on that strategy alone. And I could help you out as well if you're interested in that. But here's the thing. What we learned was that it required both sides, the two sides of it, the deals and the capital, or as I call it, the deal flow and the capital flow. So here I am in the beginning, just pushing out all this marketing, spending all this money to get people to call me and tell me how much they don't want me to send them mail anymore. Tell me how crazy I am and how sick of the mail they're getting of me sending them 50, 60 postcards when it wasn't just me. It was 50 to 60 other people in my market doing the same exact thing. If that doesn't sound familiar, I'm quite surprised if you haven't gotten a call like that, if you're actually doing direct mail. Because everybody is trying to do the same thing, which is send out mail. And the people that are receiving, like, hey, stop sending me mail. I don't want to sell my house. Leave me alone. Or I'm going to call and complain about it to somebody else, right? That's like basically the reality of direct mail. Now, if you do enough of it, just like anything, if you do enough of it, you'll get a few people that want to sell the house, but it's really tricky. So there's other strategies. We'll get into that some other time. Today's not about that. There's a lot of content about online strategies and very inexpensive or free strategies to source deals. There's a whole bunch of stuff we have in like the Dealmaker Live content. If you're in this group and listening to this, or if you're not in the group, if you're hearing this on YouTube or somewhere else on a replay, go to thereimastermind.com, thereimastermind.com. And that's going to be the bridge to go into our private Facebook community where we basically have training and information and connections happening every single day inside of that group. There's a section in the group and the guides, which talks about different strategies on how to do the 5 things, which are identify, analyze, negotiate, contract, and close. So if you haven't gone through that yet, that's kind of like your homework for today. If you want to go back and check this out. If you've already gone through that or you know how to do all that, great, awesome. We're going to talk about scaling up here in a second. I'm going to bridge over to how we did that. Now, what I failed to mention in the early stages was that we actually brought on a virtual assistant within 2 weeks of being in business. I took advice from my coach and mentor, and he said, you need somebody to help you because you don't have the time to do all this work. You need to hire somebody, and they're going to cost like nothing practically. They're going to be maybe $5, $6, $7 an hour max. And we got our first virtual assistant. I think we have for $4 an hour. And I'm going to tell you about how you can do the same thing and how we can help you do the same thing in a little bit here. But check this out. Even with the virtual assistant and having somebody able to help sift and sort, organize stuff, 6 months into direct mail, we're still not successful. However, what I did during that 6-month period of time that made a massive difference, everybody, is this. I was intentional with connection to people who were doing what I wanted to do already. I'm going to say that another way. I was looking for people who had already built a business as a real estate investor in my market, ideally in your market, that are doing it the way that I want to do it in the future. And I got to know them and I asked them a simple question. Essentially, it boils down to, hey, listen, I'm really excited for what you're doing with your business. How can I add value to what you're working on? Where can I bring the most value to what you're doing as a real estate investor? Where are there challenges in your business that I can serve and support you on this in some capacity if I can? And if I can't, I'll just tell you. And after having that conversation with literally dozens and ultimately hundreds and now thousands of people over the years, right? Our companies have had literally thousands and thousands of contacts and conversations. What I've found is that we are really good, and what we became really good at early on was finding an investor in our network that wanted to buy a deal that someone else could provide to us. So let me explain. This gentleman, John, up in New Jersey, that was my first wholesale partner, okay? He had a property under contract in a place called Hillside, New Jersey, in northern New Jersey. He had sent an email, and the email basically had a picture of like a sepia yellowish type of hue on the top of the camera on the picture, and it was like an ugly looking house. Like it looked like a maybe 1,400 square foot, tiny, relatively small, crappy looking house, like ugly houses, right? So that's kind of what you hear about. But I saw what he wrote though, and I saw the numbers, what he suggested, and I'm like, man, this is interesting. There could be a possible deal here because he had the numbers of like 120 purchase, 50 or 60K of reno, I think it was, and like a 300,000 or something like that, ARV, after repair value. I said, oh, okay. Now this is like 5, 6 months in the business. I'm like, man, I'm like trying to figure this out. I'm like, how could I possibly make this a profitable deal for us? So I reached out to my coach and my mentor and I said, listen, I'm doing all this outbound direct mail marketing stuff, and I'm really getting a bunch of people that don't want to sell at the price I need to buy at based on what you're telling me, based on what I'm learning. So what if I go to somebody who already has the deal and I just offer them to bring that deal, if we go into contract together somehow, bring that deal together to my network of investors who I met over the past 6 months. So what did I do? I met them. How did I meet them? Well, I went out to every single real estate investment meeting I could possibly find. And I didn't focus on handing out my business card. No, I focused on receiving as many cards as I could to collect people's contact information. And I took interest in what they're doing. Very important. Talk to somebody face to face. Hey, Mary, how you doing? My name is Douglas Beck. I'm a real estate investor. I'm here to learn about what you're working on. Where can I bring value? What do you got going on? I'm wondering where I could bring some value to your business. Or, hey, I'd love to learn more about what you're focusing on and see how I could fit into the picture potentially. Or, hey, I'd love to just hear what you're working on and kind of get input and feedback because I'm looking to figure out where I want to go with my business, and just be transparent and open and honest about it. Just say, hey, I'm looking to learn. I'm looking to connect. I'm looking to collaborate potentially. And Mary and Bob and Sue and John and all these people, everybody just, oh, well, here we go, talking about it. Okay, there's 5 people that night. There's 10 people the next night. And you know what I did? Every single time that I collected a business card, which, by the way, I show a lot, I have stacks in them still. These are mostly digitized, but I keep them just as a remembrance of what it took to do this. Those cards are contacts of people who are in the business that I want to do business with. So what I do is I take those cards and I literally look and say, okay, name, phone number, email. And I take those, I either take a picture of them and I send them to my virtual assistant, or I just take the information and I go to my website and I literally type in the information like I was doing after the meeting, coming home at 9:30 at night. God bless my wife for dealing with that for the longest. And I love my wife, Dima, and my children. But it was a lot of stress between working full time, leaving in the morning, going out, then not coming back until 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, multiple times a week sometimes to build the business. But that's where it's going to take some kind of effort. Now, you could have somebody else do that for you. That's a whole other story. Where you could have someone else go be the networker for you and work out a deal split or a profit share. But I was that guy in the beginning. The first 6 months, 100%, and even still, on occasion, I do a lot of networking still, but certain groups, certain events. I took those cards and I put them into my website, but it wasn't just a website to store the information. What it did was it actually put out an email as soon as I put them in there saying, welcome to my list. I'm glad we got connected. Would love to bring value. Tell me what you're working on. Are you looking to buy deals, or how can we collaborate? Something along those lines. It did it for me. That's called an autoresponder. That's called an email marketing system. We build those for people. We put that together for you. If you're interested in that, I'm going to show you my screen in a second, how we can serve you that way. Right. So we implement these same things as we do it ourselves. And we've done it ourselves, and now we're helping other people do the same thing with systems. So I did that, and I added over 500 contacts. And I remember sitting in my brother-in-law's house in Pennsylvania in the middle of PA on whatever day it was. I can't remember. It was like August something. And I had talked to John. I had talked to my other person, which is my coach and my mentor. And it's like, hey, I want to get a contract, but the contract I'm going to get is going to be contingent on my performance to basically bring an investor. I want you to know I'm only getting a contract under this notion. I'm going to bring an investor from my private network. I'm not going on Craigslist. I'm not going on Facebook. I'm not going all across the internet. No, I did work. And by the way, you guys, you got to do the work too sometimes. A lot of time, honestly, somebody's got to do the work to build a network. Build the network. If you build a network of people and now you've got those contacts, and now you got a system that you can send out those contacts where you want to send them. That's what we did. I sent an email. I typed up the email. I took that really ugly looking picture, that hillside house that I told you about. I made it look nicer somehow. I adjusted some stuff, made it look less yellow. I added some bullets and some feedback. I added some more details of the scope of work of what that property actually needed. I explained how the values were established. I got some comps put together in that email, and I took that and I sent it to my list. And I was shaking when I did this. I'm like, I don't know if this is going to work. I'm going to do it anyways because I have no other choice. When I'm 6 months in, I'm about to quit the business. I just actually had asked for a partial refund from my mentor. And he's like, no, you're not going to get a refund. Not because I don't like you or don't want to do it, but because you're so far along, you're right there. You're 3 feet from gold. You just got to do it this way. Connect with people who are doing deals. I'm like, why didn't you tell me that 6 months ago? But anyway, I figured it out. We had that call. I sent the email, and I probably still have those messages somewhere, but I don't have them ready. Within like 20 minutes, I had at least 10 or 15 people. Within an hour, we had like 20 or 30 reaching out saying, I'm interested in more information. A very long story short, the next day I had 2 or 3 people go meet with my partner, John, at the property. One guy committed to buying the deal. And about 2.5 weeks later, I got my first check. I walked into an attorney's office and collected my first check. It was $10,000, but of which we basically split 50-50, less a couple of expenses. It was $4,600 to our company. And that $4,600 was the first 4,600 that I had seen from a profit from a deal that we had done in the first one ever like this. And then fast forward hundreds of deals later, the same kind of structure, working with others that have the deal that don't have the investor, collaborating or joint venturing, as some people will call it, or co-wholesaling, as some people have called it. It's not the daisy chain, though. I want to be very clear. We are not going through a process of finding this person was that person was that person was that person, all these different people, and then hoping that somebody's got the contract. No, I need to see that the person has the contract. I need to see a redacted or an evidence of a contract on the property. And then I'll consider jumping into contract with you in terms of a joint venture or some other type of agreement, like an option contract or just a straight assignment contract to my company, which I then have the right to sell to another investor or take title and then sell the property. So all that to say, that was a pivotal point, but here's what happened. Here's how it happened. There was a system, there was intention, there was people involved. So I had a virtual assistant, I had a system that could send out messages and emails and texts, and I had people that had loaded up in the system. Without those 3 things, without the system that I had, without the combination of people, process, and technology, we would not have a business. We would have a hobby. And we would have a hobby that would die off pretty fast. Because I was this close to saying, I'm done. I basically did say, I'm done. But my mentor saw more in me, and I'm thankful for him every day. Cody out in Arizona. Thank you, Cody, for if you hear this message. Because if it wasn't for that conversation, my whole life would be drastically different in many ways that are not exciting. I would still be probably figuring out how, maybe I shouldn't say that. I know I would step out of what I was doing, but I might be still somewhere that I don't want to be, as far as in a cubicle or an office doing something for somebody else. It wouldn't have happened as fast, that's for sure. I would have definitely been behind the 8 ball in that capacity. But here's how I can help serve you guys with that story. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you how we can build the same system for you and some services and things that we offer that are available. I know there's some questions, and I promise I'll come back to those questions. Just hang tight and we'll get those addressed. And if anybody's listening to me on Facebook, or you're hearing this, somewhere, wherever else it might be, I think it's on Facebook only right now, but if you want to jump into the Zoom, click on that link. And then, and we don't have a way for obviously to join after the fact on Zoom, but let's say if you're here live, you could jump in. So let me see if I could share my screen. So this is kind of our promotional offer for this week as far as what we're doing. If you haven't seen it, now is the time you're going to be able to see it. I'm going to kind of skim through it. So we want to help you spend or even invest more time in growing your real estate empire and less time grinding through it by using our trained and trusted real estate virtual assistant. So we want you to access the same kind of resource that I had that allowed me to connect and organize all my contacts, get everything sifted and sorted, actually help me prepare the email, get everything drafted, get the stuff put together, actually do it for me, right? Do it for my business. That's what it eventually became. We have multiple virtual assistants all across the world helping us do this in our businesses with an ES at the end, not just one. But the thing is, like I said here, I've seen many successful investors bogged down by the relentless, literally demands of finding deals and managing their time at the same time, trying to figure out how to do all this. But when I started, like I said, he said, go get a virtual assistant, which I did. Remember, I was doing direct mail though. I hired the VA. It transformed the business though, because it allowed me to automate basically lead gen and some negotiations by basically connecting with people over email, phone, and text. It allows us to close multi-million dollars of deals. And I want to help replicate this for you. So, basically, here's what a VA could do for you. Lead gen and qualification. They can gather and screen leads, focusing on only those with high conversion potential. They can screen the actual deals and analyze the deals using different tools like runyournumbers.com that we use. We have a system just for that. And we have communication, right? So they can interact as far as like actually allowing them to communicate with us internally using a private messaging system, but then also externally using systems like just a regular voice over IP phone or a text message system. Document and transaction coordination. So helping organize and stay compliant with them handling all the paperwork and the deadlines, systems, with the paperwork and the documents and the DocuSigns, all this other stuff. Marketing, key right here. Marketing, keep them in the spotlight by helping your company get visibility online, having promote what you're doing. We're going to show you in a second how we do that, but then how this can be done for you ongoing with a virtual assistant. Market analysis and research. I mean, looking up information, data analysis, research and stuff, pulling information from different systems like PropStream and stuff like that, getting data, right? Go online, go into different systems that have MLS data, client interaction. So having somebody actually talk on the phone to your potential client on whatever deal you're doing. Doesn't need to be a wholesale deal. It could be a purchase. It could be a fix and flip. I've had virtual assistants manage projects over the phone with my local project manager that's in New Jersey or Florida or somewhere else, having assistants actually take on the day-to-day routine of coordinating phone work and doing appointments with people, setting up contractors to go to properties, coordinating payments, different things of that nature, and administrative tasks. But there's plenty of different things. Like if you want consistent deal flow, if you want to scale your business and you want to remove the complexity of your time being unavailable or not as consistent because you got other obligations, you want some time freedom, this is like a no-brainer for you to get a virtual assistant. And you can do this by yourself. Like I encourage you to go out there and try to do it yourself, and you can. The challenge becomes though, what are you actually going to have to do? You're going to have to find somebody. We'll find them for you. We'll get a seasoned VA specifically for your specific needs. We'll hire them with you and for you, basically saying, hey, this is what we recommend. Go hire them. We'll talk about that in a little bit. We'll even train them for you to make sure that they're trained specifically for your systems and your business. By the way, this is not just investing. This is any kind of business that you have a need for more people, more time, marketing or sales, or just coordination and office administrative type work. And we'll install them into your business, setting them up to start basically immediately working your system, working your business. In this deal that we have right now, we're actually giving access to our other community, which is called the Growth Collective Community, which is a $2,800 value, because that's something that we'll give you access to for 30 days to check it out and try it out. We're going to have personal support from me and a private Slack channel. And we have a guarantee, which is basically adding more hours in your day, obviously, but overall productivity. And if you don't feel like you're satisfied, you're going to get another 4 weeks of coaching and support for free. We're also going to take $500 off the normal implementation fee, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Basically, you could get somebody done for just $1,000. Now, this is like not you doing anything besides saying, I want this kind of resource, go get them and put them in my business. Like literally, it's that simple. You say, I need a virtual assistant that's going to do blah, 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 blah. We're like, okay, yes, they exist. We'll go get them for you. And within a week or so, you're going to have multiple candidates to choose from that we recommend based on already screening them and knowing who they are, what they can deliver. It's $1,000 to get them not just found, but also put into your business, set up, trained, operational, support you in that process, and then transition over to you. Now, if you don't think your time is worth hundreds or thousands of dollars an hour, then we probably should have another conversation, because you're not maybe thinking right about this. But VAs typically charge, $5 to $6 an hour, maybe even sometimes $4 an hour, up to like 10, $15, depending upon what they're doing. And depends on where they're located, right? And so my experience, just real quick on virtual assistants and outsourcing and offshoring, I forgot to mention this before, is pretty deep besides real estate investing. When I was at Johnson & Johnson, I was part of a team that was in the IT services, strategic sourcing and procurement of resources for services for a multi-billion-dollar company. So here I am helping put together requirements for what they needed to do as Johnson & Johnson to go find people all across the world to do services for IT and different types of procurement of people. And so I had that experience at J&J in big business that now we're bringing into smaller business and medium-sized businesses, plus my actual knowledge of doing this ourselves in the business on literally, we've had dozens and dozens of virtual assistants over the years. We have any given time, we have probably between 12 to 15 people offshore working on different things within our companies. So these are some people that have actually had success with it. I'm just going to skim through that for now. You guys can check it out later. And then, basically it's as simple as clicking this link. If you don't have the link, I'm going to drop that, or maybe my team could drop that somewhere to just get this locked in. And what I'm going to suggest is on this particular presentation and this particular conversation, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a bonus. Okay. If you haven't seen this is another offer we had recently, which is basically the integration of what's called our TLC system, which basically says traffic, leads, and closings or conversations. If you want to have a system that literally has all the contacts, all the conversations, getting you traffic, getting you leads, having those people all organized and process organized in a system, we implement that. And I actually have a video here, which I'm going to share and let this thing do the talking. And then we're going to talk about what that means for you.
Are you tired of chasing leads that literally go nowhere? Struggling with marketing that just doesn't cut it? Well, maybe you're spending hours on sales calls that just lead nowhere, and it's exhausting, and it's not why you got into this business. What if I told you that there's a proven way, a proven system that can flip the script for you? A system that can do the heavy lifting for you, bringing in qualified leads while you sleep, and systematically closing them on autopilot, resulting in more opportunities, less stress, and unlimited business growth. Stick around because I'm about to spill the beans. My name is Douglas Beck, and I've been in your shoes. I've felt the sting of cold calls that lead to dead ends, but I refuse to let that be my story. And that's why I took matters into my own hands and created something that changed the game for me, and it could do the same for you. I went from struggling to build my real estate wholesale business to running and growing multiple real estate businesses that collectively generate multiple seven figures, mostly on autopilot. And today, I'm here to show you how you could do the same or even better. Now, let's face it, the real estate game, it's tough. You're out there every day trying to make things happen, but it feels sometimes like you're stuck and you're going through some quicksand. Just the old ways are just not cutting it anymore. And you need something to break the cycle and propel you forward. And that's where our done for you TLC marketing system can help. This isn't just any system. It's a game changer that I wish I had when I started in this business over a decade ago. The system is designed to bring leads literally to you, to then warm those leads up and serve them to you on a silver platter, waiting to be closed. And it's like having a marketing team in your pocket, working around the clock to bring the deals to you. So here's how it works. Step one, traffic. We're gonna drive traffic. We'll get your name out there, attracting leads from all corners of the internet. I'm talking SEO, social media marketing, your current list, ads, you name it, okay? Step two, we're going to convert that traffic and we're gonna get leads generated. We'll create a custom website and funnel for you that will turn those leads into qualified opportunities systematically. And step three, the most important, we're going to nurture and convert those leads. We're going to set up proven automatic follow-up sequences and systems into your business that keeps warming up those leads until they're ready to close. So the result, more deals, less stress, and a business that grows while you sleep. And because I know it could be tough for some of you to take care of all that technical setup and maintenance and making sure that everything is running smoothly, I'm even going to throw in a year of expert coaching and support from the team I have, the TLC marketing team, my own staff and team, to support you and your business and your system. It means you're not just going to get a system built for you. You're going to get a team of experts literally there to ensure your success throughout the entire process. But here's the thing. You have to take action right now because this system is very, very exclusive. And we're only taking on currently 7 real estate professionals to leverage this proven system. So if you want to be part of our next success story, if you want to go ahead and move forward and get this installed into your business and turn the leads on automatically, systematically while you're sleeping and start generating business, then click the button that says apply for the TLC marketing system below right now and book your one-on-one action call with us today. And also, I just want to make sure that the second step after you do that, after booking the call, complete that second step. It's to submit a $1,000 submitted deposit, okay? And that's gonna allow you then to move forward and show us you're committed. It's fully refundable. It's fully refundable. So if for some reason it's not a good fit, you don't like what you hear, it's not a good fit for us, we're not feeling it, you're not feeling it, no big deal, you can have that back, but hold your spot until you have that one-on-one call. That shows us you're fully committed. And we're gonna secure your spot in the TLC marketing system. It shows that you're serious, like I said. So don't wait. Reserve that spot today before we hit 7. It's gonna go fast. I know it's gonna go fast. So instead of waiting around, everybody, for deals to come to you, let's flip the script. With the TLC marketing system, you're gonna have deals coming to you systematically, nonstop. Your biggest challenge is gonna be taking on all those leads and figuring out which ones you're gonna buy, which ones you're gonna sell as wholesale deals, and which ones you're gonna find another way to make money from. So if you're ready to make a change, are you? Let's do this together. I'll catch you on the inside.
All right, so I was trying to find the mute button there. So that was from a few weeks ago. I think we had a promotion. What we're doing here is we're bringing this back because if you notice, the VA placement, I told you before, this is to get a virtual assistant. I think it's very relevant for today, and I'm feeling generous. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have that $1,000 that you're going to potentially pay or invest into your business for the VA actually go towards the TL system. We're going to include the VA service for free. So as of right now, that's an added promo. My team may not even know about this. We're going to, if you want to move forward with this system, which we'll talk about specifics in a little bit, get to have us not just place a person, but actually build the system out on the back end, what we call our TLC core, which is your CRM, your front facing website with a video that will help you script and basically put together like this one with captions and all that stuff, with all the details, the copy, the email copy, the text message copy, all that stuff. We could build that out for you guys. And we actually have the support mechanism, like I said, for the 12 months built into this offer. We'll give you the virtual assistant for free to run the system. At this point, we want to help more people get, this access to the system. And I'm going to show you what that looks like in a second, but here it is. I told you before, I think you guys heard some of these things. You can read it, if you'd like later. We'll get you the link for this one as well, promo-VFY, if the team could drop that link. This is going to have more details. It's a little bit more than just like the VA, right? Because we need to get traffic of potential customers, whether that's a real estate investment deal that someone's looking to sell, a property they're looking to sell, a wholesale deal. Maybe it's an investor that you want to connect with to do business with in some capacity. Maybe it's a whole different business. Maybe you're a real estate agent and looking to get traffic of potential listings or potential buyers that you could help buy property. Or maybe you're a mortgage person like one of our clients and looking to get leads on loans, because we have a business that we do in commercial debt that we understand that business as well. We can help you build out the funnels and systems for that. If you're a construction professional, same thing. If you need, we built websites and funnels for construction professionals as well. And if you're a whole different kind of business, we'll look at it, just that we're normally focused on real estate services. That's our core focus. When it comes to leads, we're going to help you understand how to get them converted from just being people that visit your site to actually wanting to do business with you and buying from you or buying with you. Closings, obviously, we want to follow up and get to a close. And we're going to build out the email campaigns, the SMS campaigns, even messenger marketing online. There's so much cool stuff behind this. But the goal is, like it says here, get traffic. You can see how we do that. Step 2 is to convert that traffic into leads. And again, you could do these things without us. By all means, go for it. I give you a lot of credit if you take the bull by the horns and just do it. We just want to offer it as an opportunity to do it for you, to make it easier and to make it more, a systematic type of implementation where you don't have to worry about doing all this heavy lifting yourself. But ultimately, there's a whole bunch of details here. What I'm basically saying is that we're going to do this for you. You want to make sure you fit the model of what we offer. So this is a book a call. So if you go to this link, wherever you're seeing the link, you definitely want to book a call to have a conversation with myself or one of my team members. We'll get you that offer. If you do move forward with this, we'll give you the VA as a bonus into the mix. So you have a VA that can run the business for you instead of you having to worry about all the steps yourself. So we'll build the system and have somebody else do it for you as far as running that system. If that doesn't help you get to success, I don't know what's going to, honestly, with all due respect, if you have a real vision for your business. But here's the thing. I'll let you know about one more opportunity and kind of a related opportunity, and then we're going to wrap this up and take any questions. If, let's say, you don't need a system. You're like, I'm not at that phase yet. I don't need to build out. I don't need a virtual assistant. I just need to learn and figure out what to do and how to do it. But I'm committed. Maybe I've done some education. Maybe I haven't. I don't know. I don't know where your situation exactly is. Maybe you can let me know that in the chat or on a comment where you're at with your business. But you're tired of like wasting time and money on different quote unquote mentorship programs that are like just outdated, like doing direct mail. For me personally, it's just an outdated method. Bandit signs, like why bother? Just you're going to get fined and stuff like that. Let's go like smart and let's go online where people are and let's find them online. Let's get them to come in as inbound leads, or me to find the person raising their hand saying, I'm already ready to do what you want them to do, and connect with those people. So I'm going to quickly play this. It's a little bit longer, but I want to just give you the value that you guys deserve today. If you haven't seen this video, this is about our 90-day accelerator inside the Growth Collective, which is a little bit more of an intensive, a 90-day focused effort together. We don't have right now a combo offer. We'd be willing to look at that with you guys if you want to take us up on this offer and the implementation. We are kind of considering that, but I want you all to hear what this would include so you have an idea of how we can serve you. Maybe you're in a different phase in your journey as a real estate investor that this might be more applicable. So I'm going to play this for you. Again, take any questions and put them in the chat or on the comment. We'll come back to that in a few, and just check this out real quick. What's going on, everybody? Good evening. I wanted to just hop on here because, man, since our 1 o'clock went through more details about the 90-day accelerator program that we have with the Growth Collective. And so
If you're just kind of catching this and hearing about it the first time, no worries, it's okay. I'm going to cover just quickly some of the things that came up with some folks I spoke with this afternoon. A couple folks actually took the step to move forward and enroll, which I'm super excited about. Congratulations to those of you that did that. So let's just quickly talk about coaching and implementation versus education and information. A lot of programs out there, which is not the Growth Collective, by the way, a lot of programs out there offer education. That's great. Education and information will help get you knowledge and awareness, but it doesn't help you get understanding. So the one thing that we really take pride in the Growth Collective coaching and mastermind group is that we actually focus on implementation, right? We focus on and coaching you through challenges, real life stuff, not just like hypothetical theory type stuff. So our clients in the Growth Collective actually get a implementation focused engagement working in a private coaching and mastermind group. Similar to this, but instead of it being you listening to me talk, we actually talk together. We actually correlate and communicate in a live Zoom meeting multiple times a week. I mentioned this earlier today. You have 5 to 7 sessions every single week. Conversations that we have vary from question and answers to deep dives. I'll talk about some of the specific meetings we have, like the hot seat discussion, having a mindset discussion every couple of weeks with my buddy Kyle, getting into some rental property investing with Coach David, talking about just deal structuring and deal analysis with myself and Coach Rich. Pretty much the full gamut from acquisitions through if you're wholesaling dispositions, marketing, the sales process, all that kind of stuff. If you're looking to acquire rental property, deal analysis, DSCR loans, leveraging other people's money, OPM, all that kind of stuff, right? So another thing that came up is like, what about this 90-day do a deal guarantee? Is that like legit? Is that for real? Yes, it is. And the way it works is pretty simple. If in 90 days or less you don't close your next deal, we will continue to work with you for free until you do. You have access to the group, complimentary. So if that sounds interesting for you, that's another great reason to consider enrolling. In addition to that, unlimited one-on-one support. So like a lot of folks out there that are looking at different options, you might be looking at a program that has somebody that's leading the ship, but they're not actually plugging in and actually doing the meetings. I know there's one particular that we're very well aware of because we have folks that have come from that particular group because they're looking for capital. I take pride in being the gentleman that started the company, being the investor that built my investment business, have faced a lot of challenges, but also a lot of successes, and sharing in that directly with my coaching clients and mastermind group. And so I believe in the power of one-on-one attention. And so with that, you'll have a private Slack channel where you'll actually have the ability to message me personally, ongoing, as much as you need to, and my office and my staff, right, that will help support you. And you'll also have the private Facebook group where you can message the rest of the group, including myself and the other coaches, to get that one-on-one support that you need. And even in the meetings, you can raise your hand and you get the one-on-one focus in the group meeting. So just want to make sure you guys know that that's what's included with what we're talking about here. The offer that we talked about today, the 90-day accelerator, is new. It doesn't have any scheduled one-on-ones, which all of our other programs have. This one's just group access only, but you have the one-on-one support, which is so important for you. And then you have exclusive JV opportunities. I mean, there's people in the group right now, clients of ours, all across the country, from literally Hawaii to Texas to California to Florida, Canada, Georgia. I mean, I could just name probably 20 other states, but it's a blessing. It's awesome. I love it, and it's so cool to have people all across the country that are sourcing deals, looking to do deals, looking to partner up, looking to do JVs. So how about the opportunities that get presented in this group? This is where the mastermind concept comes into play, especially. And the collaboration opportunities. So if you're an experienced investor looking for people to collaborate with, looking to find deals in your market, and you want to go to a group of people that already have the intention to go do that with you, people that are committed to their success, that want to get deals closed, and you're looking for someone to partner up with, man, this is a great place to go too. So just because you're an experienced investor doesn't mean you shouldn't take a closer look at this. And so then also priority to capital, right? Everyone's talking about capital, and capital is becoming more difficult to obtain these days for a lot of reasons with the economy and different things that are going on. So having priority access to capital through realdirectlending.com and its funding partners is a real benefit to you. And you have a priority, meaning you'll be first in line because you're a paid client at that point. You've committed as the Growth Collective member that you might be, right? In this case, we're talking about people that might want to join. In addition to that, you have the standard stuff like structured content, right? Content that will help you not just hear theory and hypothetical, but actually take action on that content, move forward. Take steps in your journey towards the goal, which is going to be sourcing deals, analyzing deals, negotiating deals, going under contract, understanding the funding process, understanding how to get things set up for success with construction and with management of the property. And you have access to a private Facebook community. In fact, you get 2 private communities where you could get all your questions answered as well in between sessions and post different things. Listen, a lot of you here know me from different things. A lot of you here have been around, JDL Ventures and the Growth Collective and different things we've done, different businesses that I've had and grown over the years. And it's a blessing to have you all here. And you're here now because you're thinking about maybe looking at the Growth Collective 90-day accelerator program. But how about some accountability? I mean, who here would want to have some additional accountability every single week, having somebody there, a coach that is an expert in what they do, a group that has the support and the ability to influence and help nurture your growth as a real estate investor, having just accountability, checking in and saying, hey, what happened last week? How did you do last week? How are we going to do this week? What's this week looking like for you? Are we going to get to some success? Are we going to get to some goals? Are we going to get to some progress? What's that looking like? Let's set some priorities. Let's set some targets. We talk about that every single week. There's a special meeting just for that alone. Oh man, this is a game changer. The weekly hot seat. You want to meet a guy who's been in the short-term rental space for over 20 years, who's also happens to be my father, who's got a tremendous amount of experience. He's there too, right? But he's another benefit to the group, another coach, if you would, right? The coach of me, the coach of the coach. But in all seriousness, the weekly hot seat. We have a hot seat discussion every Thursday morning, and more than likely, at some point in the near future, we're going to open up another hot seat because we have so many people coming up with some great deal flow that they want to review in detail and get answers on and get analysis completed. But the hot seat is probably one of the most valuable things. In fact, people have said to me that one hot seat meeting is worth more than the investment that they make into the program in of itself. And trust me, I thought about it. I said, maybe we should just do the hot seat and that's it. But that wouldn't serve the rest of the folks that need the other things too, right? So there's multiple facets here. And so what is a hot seat? Let's just talk about that for a second. Let's say you have a deal that you're thinking about making an offer on, or you want to buy a property that you know is a good deal in your area. Someone says it's a good deal. How do you figure out the numbers? Well, you might know what to do. You might have a draft of a review or of analysis, but maybe you don't know if it's really what it needs to be for you to make a decision to make an offer. Maybe you don't have the confidence yet to make the offer. Maybe you just need someone to say, hey, this looks like a great deal. Here is the reason why it's a great deal. Here's how the numbers work. Here's how the numbers don't work. Here's your negotiation leverage. Here's what I'm seeing as issues based on the pictures. I will personally step in there, or Coach Rich or somebody else will step in and do the analysis with you and give you the recommendations and support your ability to make the offer or negotiate the offer or counter or decide to navigate out of that scenario. Okay, we've had some clients literally make massive decisions from coming into that hot seat discussion. And if that's not enough, you have expert guests coming in. People that are literally guests that have had decades of experience. We're going to have a special foreclosure auction process masterclass just for the paid clients inside the group. So that's something that in itself is worth thousands of dollars to understand how to buy auction properties. You want to wholesale some deals? We have a group full of buyers. How about some systems to scale? How about some virtual assistants, some tools, some processes? Check it out. It's real simple. If this is for you, don't think anymore. Just decide. Just take the step. Move forward. It's no big deal. We have a couple of spots left. Somebody's going to grab those couple of spots. Hopefully one of them is you. Listen to me right now. And if you're not ready yet, that's okay. But just know that this offer itself will maybe not be around. I mean, this is a beta test for a group-only offer with a 90-day do-a-deal guarantee that we've never done before. So effectively, if you want to take advantage of this opportunity, go ahead and do that tonight. Fact is, this is special, though, for you guys to get started. So again, I appreciate you guys. I'm excited for you all. I'm excited for those of you going to take the next step and decide to move forward, and decide to make this happen. Will the rest of the year be the year that you want it? Or is it going to be the same thing? Just another day, just another month, just another week, just another month, just another quarter, just another year? Or are you going to do something different? Are you going to decide to take that leap of faith and trust yourself and invest in yourself? I encourage you to do that. But maybe not ready yet, and that's okay. We'll talk real soon. God bless you guys. Have a great night, and I'll talk to you then. See you in the Growth Collective.
Awesome. Cool. So you guys can see there's a lot of stuff here you can read about later if you want. This is something that, we've been offering for the past, I would say, year and a half, 2 years on and off. As you heard me mention that video when we recorded it, these are some testimonials. I'm going to keep on scrolling just to see kind of people that have had success with us and different things they've said. So really blessed to be able to help a lot of people. As I mentioned before, I've had a corporate background and IT background. So we bring that to the table, plus the real estate side of things. And it's not just me. You get a whole bunch of people helping you out. There's different meetings we have available. The schedule does change from time to time. So right now, I think we have 6 or 7 meetings a week available to you. There's also the opportunity to add one-on-ones. If you want my personal one-on-one time, I have a spot for probably 3 more people to do one-on-ones on a weekly basis at the moment. But what I wanted to mention this for was because some of you don't necessarily, or you're not ready yet for maybe a virtual assistant, or you're not ready yet for a system. So what I wanted to offer was, let's have a conversation. So instead of it just being about signing up, what I'd encourage you to do is, one of the links that the team provided, I think it was, well, this one here, you could book a call with my team and just let them know that you're interested maybe in more information about the TLC system, but you also might be interested in the 90-day accelerator. There's probably a link on this page. I just don't have it handy right now. Maybe the team can grab it to schedule a call as well. The last thing I want to share is, again, maybe 90 days feels pressure, too much stress, too much, acceleration. If you just want to be part of a community that's in, has multiple meetings throughout the week as well, and maybe doesn't have that high intensity to it, then you want to check out the community. And with this, I'm going to play one last video, and then we're going to wrap this up. And any questions? This is going to be about our community offer, and essentially, this gets you some of the things you might want, which is access to people that are in the business, access to people that are growing a business, access to me and my staff of coaches as well. But you don't necessarily have the same intensity. So maybe you're going at a little bit slower of a pace because you're being intentional and you have other obligations. This would be something worth looking at. And we're just about to do a promo about this to give you a heads up. So if you're hearing this message, it's almost July 4th when we're recording this. So usually we run a promo. So anybody who reaches out to me today about the community offer, I'll honor that promo in advance. I'll tell you what that is in a second. But right now I'm going to play this video lastly, and then we'll go through any questions and kind of wrap this up. Welcome to the Growth Collective community, where we train, coach, and ultimately connect our clients to other high caliber real estate investors so that they can close their first or their next deal as a real estate investor. My name is Douglas J. Beck, and back in 2014, I decided to become a real estate investor. I started off with the wholesale strategy, and it took me about 6 months with a mentorship program in my corner helping support and serve me. It still took me 6 months to close my first deal. And what I realized was that it wasn't just about the education, it was about the implementation, about taking the right actions, about being connected to the right people. And in fact, 6 months into the business, what I decided to do was to focus more about connections, the connections I'd already made and the connections that I was making. And I connected with one gentleman named John, who to this day is a mentor to me and a friend. And John helped me close my first deal. And since then, we've closed hundreds of transactions, wholesale flips, fix and flips, picking up rental properties, even getting into private lending, now owning and operating a fund that provides capital to real estate investors from all across the country. And so I'm here today to tell you that I want to help educate you, yes, but I also want to help you get into implementation. And so the TGC community, the Growth Collective community here that we're talking about on this page, is all about, yes, training and education to create that awareness and some level of an understanding. But also, we focus on helping our clients get results by being properly connected and coached through the right process, right? So if you're looking for that structured content, that structured guidance, we can help you. If you're looking for that live coaching and support, we can help you. You literally will have access to expert coaches from all across the country, including myself, twice a week, live in a group style, small group style coaching session where you can bring all your questions, bring your deals you want us to take a look at, and bring any opportunities that the other group members could participate in. Why do I say it that way? Because we have a culture in the Growth Collective to look to collaborate and to create joint venture possibilities with our clients and members, and even coaches jumping into deals with our clients. So unlike many of the other programs out there where it's all about just information overload and education, we really believe about implementation first. Obviously education enough to get into motion, but we want to help you get into motion as quickly as possible. So we start you off with some very basic structured content. We move into taking action, and we move into checkpoints and accountability. And ultimately, every single week, you have 2 of those live sessions available. Plus, not to mention the fact that you have access to a private Slack channel where you can access me and my staff of coaches and support folks to help get your questions answered as often as you need to. So if you're looking for something that's going to help you step into, becoming a real estate investor, or even just get a little bit of an edge as a real estate investor already that you are. So whether you're looking to go out there and do it all by yourself, hey, we have a place for you. If you want to just get the information and go put it into action, or if you really are a fan of collaboration, like most of our clients and all of our group pretty much is, you're going to have no problems connecting to people that want to collaborate with you. Looking for other people's capital to leverage and put into your deals, looking for other people's deals that you want to buy or invest into, looking for other people's time and resources of deal analysis. There's all kinds of folks in the group looking to collaborate with you today. So again, right now, check out the link below or the next page you can click on here. So you can literally click below, get enrolled, and immediately get access to the group, all the content, the live sessions coming up this week, and everything else that comes with it, which is just amazing. So take the action if you're ready to go. We're looking for someone who wants to implement. I hope that's you, and I'll see you inside the group. Have a great day, and God bless you. All right. So this is another page you guys could check out. Again, some similar testimonies and stuff. Look, here's what I'm going to offer for to kind of pull this all together, and then we'll go through a couple of questions. If you guys like the community and you want to get started with us in the community to like kind of get a taste of what it's like, basically we'll throw in the virtual assistant for free as well if you enroll for the community. The community offer right now is $2,800 for the year, or you could do $297 a month. We are going to have a promo soon, but it's not finalized. So there could be a slight discount, but that won't include the VA necessarily. So if you come in today after this presentation, or you're hearing this on a replay and you go to this website, jointhegrowthwither.com/community, you click on reserve my spot, we're going to throw in a virtual assistant placement for free. And we're going to get you also a 15-minute strategy session with myself and potentially another one with one of my team members, just for coming in, kind of spur of the moment. If you have any questions, now's a good time. Let's see. We had a question earlier from Yolanda. I'm going to come off of screen share here. Again, that website, in case you're hearing this and you're not able to see the screen for some reason, it's jointhegrowthcollective.com/community. It's $2,800 for the year or $297 per month for a 12-month commitment. And we're willing to give you a virtual assistant placement for free as of right now. That may not last beyond even today. Our promos do change and come and go quite frequently. So you can go to that website, you can get enrolled. We're going to welcome you with arms wide open and get you going right away. But there's a question from Yolanda. Yolanda says, were you only using direct mail, or was that only the main marketing source? So at that time, Yolanda and everybody else, we were only doing direct mail. And then we started to do a little bit of limited bandit sign type stuff. And then what I started realizing probably a few months in the business was that people were asking me if we could joint venture, like bring in their deal to my network, but I didn't really understand it yet. I didn't understand the possibility of collaboration with other wholesalers. And I didn't have myself really in the mindset of like taking their deal and bringing it to my people. So it was only until like 5 months in, 6 months in, that I finally made that decision just to give it a shot. And long story short, like I said, that one deal, we had another 6 deals in 2014, then like 2025 and 16, what is it? Let's see, 2014, 2015, 2016, I think we did like 30 or something like that. Our biggest year was, I think, 2018. We did 60 deals wholesale, and we had like 18 projects going on, for, fix and flip and stuff like that. It was nuts. I just know that because it was 2018, we had 18. It was kind of nuts. And then, to date, we've, that was the busiest season, but we've done just about 250 wholesale flips and about 51 or 52 fix and flips. And we've had, as many as like about 10 rental units at one time. We have a handful right now. And then we also have the capital side of things. I've worked in 2 different funds as a direct lending partner of those funds and helping them lend capital. I've also helped raise capital for the one fund, and currently operating, our own deals, and also helping people put deals together and bring them value. So hopefully that was helpful, Yolanda and everybody else. But hey, listen, I appreciate the time that you all invested with me today. If you're looking to move forward again, probably the next best step would be to go to the community page, get enrolled in the community, or if you don't want to be a part of the community, that's okay. If you don't need that extra, community support, you just want to get the virtual assistant, go ahead and go to that site that was dropped in the link here for the VA placement. That is a promotional offer as well that will go up as far as the price to do that. And yeah, like I said, if you guys want to look at the TLC system with us, we're happy to look at that. You got a link for that too. But just do something, right? Take action. My call to action for you is to do something today for the benefit of your business, but ultimately for your purpose and reason as to why. There's something bigger than just the business that's behind why you want to do this. And if you don't do something, that thing, whatever that thing, that person, those people, that idea, that possibility, that calling is going to be very let down. And we don't want to let anybody down. We want to push forward and really strive for our full purpose and intention in what this is all about. So real estate just happens to be the means. Investing and business happens to be the means, but there's a bigger purpose that you're being called to. The reason why you're sitting here listening to this presentation, this conversation, and I'm just honored and blessed to have you here with me. And thank you for the time and focus. And I'm looking forward to connecting with you really soon. So until then, have a great day. God bless. I'll talk to you guys then. See you in the Growth Collective.